Ladies and gentlemen, namaskar and welcome to this day-long event of people of Indian origin, Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's a day-long event, and the theme, as you all can read it, it is enhancing diaspora's role for the goal of Viksit Bharat, India a developed nation by 2047. It's a huge goal. It's amazingly huge goal, but we at the PIOCCI, we feel we will have a phenomenal role in achieving that part. Let me set the background as why we as PIOCCI would be tremendous help and resource for achieving the goal of India becoming a developed nation. बहुत बड़ा claim है. It's a big call. It's a tall claim we are making by 2047. And secondly, why we are unique in organizing Indian diaspora in the world of business around the world. The key word here is in the business. The Indian diaspora is a huge diaspora, but we are talking about people who are engaged in the world of business. So why we are uniquely positioned? Two very important numbers I would like to draw your attention to. First, the Indian diaspora around the world is 30 million more and plus. 3 crore log hai hum. And दूसरा, last year, the remittance by diaspora to India, remittance, was $130 billion. And what does these numbers mean? I did a Google search. And what I found that the population of countries around the world, almost 2/3 of the countries in the world have a population of less than 3 crore, 30 million. More than like almost 2/3 countries. And the second, I looked at the GDP of the countries. Similar number, almost 2/3 countries in the world, their GDP is less than 130 billion. So that tells you the size, how important this becomes. What PIOCCI has done is that it has carved a niche for itself around the world. And no diaspora organization in the world. I live in Canada and I have been part of the diaspora organizations. I have watched other diaspora organizations. No diaspora organization can claim that they are coordinating activities around the world. Most of them, all of them are specific to the country or specific to a special group. It could be even a Chamber of Commerce of Gujaratis in Canada or of Indians in Canada. But no organization has this global focus. And the second is that we have chosen a sweet spot. Our sweet spot is tier 2 and tier 3 companies, not tier 1. And why so? Various important reasons to back it up. The tier 2 organization, tier 3 organizations, you may be surprised, their aggregate revenue is more than the tier 1 organizations like IBM or Google and others. If you add them together around the world, their revenue is larger, they employ more people, they create more social equity than the tier 1 organizations. And also, IBM doesn't need help from us. But these are smaller companies which would find us useful, and that's why we have targeted that. The other part, it's very easy. You can make a slogan that will make India Viksit by 2047. To do that, you need world-class company. World-class companies need a supply chain. And the supply chain goes to tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5s. One way is that we can go the route of Korea and Taiwan and others. They have their homegrown supply chain. But India doesn't have that much time. So our efforts by bringing tier 2, tier 3 companies from around the world, world-class companies, that will help build the strength into the supply chain of for India. And that is a necessity for a Viksit Bharat would be for India. The second very, very important aspect of PIOCCI is that we are bringing a paradigm shift. And paradigm shift that will happen in India. Our success of bringing tier 2, tier 3 organizations will bring the remittance, investments. But this remittance is not like typically the $130 billion coming every year to $120 billion coming every year is for consumption. That is consumed by families, for education, for other kind of necessities. That gets consumed. When we bring tier 2, tier 3 organizations, it's an investment. It will grow exponentially. So that is the paradigm shift. A new dimension to remittance is that. And when you bring, I think somebody's phone, can you please, we request you to keep your phones switched off, please. Yeah. It is not only that the remittance is an investment and it will grow exponentially, it creates a very nice layer of middle class jobs. So it's not a money coming and then family using it. So that's another part of the paradigm shift. And third is that these companies, in order to be useful to tier 1 companies in India, they have to show they have a technology, they have manufacturing process and all that thing. And our success is going to strengthen the bottom of the pyramid of business. That's the bottom part, because we are going to bring these kind of companies here. Another aspect which you all know it, but I just wanted to highlight, India is unique, really unique, not because of the love I have for India, which I do. It's unique that if you look at the GDP makeup of India, almost 74 to 76% of the GDP of India is internal consumption. Export is just about a quarter, unlike all the developed nations. So India is a market. India is a market for our own companies and for the world. So it becomes a magnet to attract companies. Very easy job. If we do as a PIOCCI good job, it's easy for us to attract those companies because they are looking for business. What is the problem they have is how to navigate the Indian system. That is a big problem. It's a fear and it's a problem. And we see our role, PIOCCI, more like a Sherpa. You climb the Mount Everest, a Sherpa just facilitates you, makes things easy, carries your weight. And in our case, we are more in the early stages. We do hand holding. We would help you jump start it. You know, we have been thinking, one of our treasurer, Mukherjee Dada, and we have said, find out chartered accountancy company, lawyers, small, medium-sized lawyers, and we create a package. So the new company comes from anywhere from the world, Poland or anywhere, they don't have to go through the hoops and trying to figure it out. They just become member of PIOCCI, and then we will introduce them to this, and we would have bounded them so that things don't go out of control, that you are getting a charge. We can tell them, you know, your expenses are going to be somewhere between $5,000 to $7,000 or something like that. Your company will be incorporated. You will have a GST number. You will have employee tax number. This filing will be happen. So first year is going to be easy for you. So you can see that the role we can play for the smaller companies to enter India, that will be phenomenal. And who are we going to target as a PIOCCI members? These are the they are the Indian diaspora members. They either are working in a business setup around the world, and there are a large number of them, especially I found in Africa, very easy to find any company of some significance will have an Indian as a controller, CFO, as a production manager, And those people, their love for India, but also they want the company to grow. So they can become a catalyst. You being our member and bringing their company to India. So these are the professionals, entrepreneurs like us. Those who have gone there and we have set up our business, we have done well. And there are large number of Indian entrepreneurs and they are not thinking about India because they think everybody has to go to know somebody, some police wala, some income tax wala, some politician, somebody. No. We would have a very well charted a sequence of things to do, to be done. And we are going to go beyond that. And that is the policy makers and influencers. There are people in the countries who influence where their country should go. What should be the country's policy? Not like Justin Trudeau of Canada, Look at that public policy. What has it done? It has done a disastrous impact on the bilateral relationship between India and Canada. So public policy matters a lot. And increasingly, and I'm so encouraged that when we see the Vice Chancellor of the Gujarat University, that we are going to work with them. They have it. I was pleasantly surprised, not many of my colleagues, that there's a department, that they have a full department for diaspora studies and migration studies. What better than for you to connect with us and we do some serious research. How do we influence the public policy of different countries in their bilateral corridor so that there are fundamental facilitating environment created for the businesses to come to India, or in India, we make it more than anything, public policies matter more than facilitation. Because the policy will decide that yes, you can do this, you cannot do this, you can do this way or that way. So I'm going to again say, this organization is going to be the business Sherpa for the people who want to climb the Mount Everest. We are not going to do their business. We will have, because many of us, my colleagues, I talk, they say, Aditya Ji, what about this? We can start this thing there in that country. I say, we are doing nothing. Individually, you do whatever. As an organization, think like a Sherpa. He only goes as far the other guy goes. We handhold, we facilitate. We are, again, just to summarize, we are relevant and useful because of few things. These companies around the world, and I hope you will, I'm guessing that you will agree to that, they are fearful of India. They think it will be very difficult. I have one example. A friend of mine has invested few $1 million in Barabanki, bought a bankrupt company through NCLT process, and more than a year he can't get the electricity because there's a dispute there. And the moment he starts the factory, there will be 300-400 jobs. So you can see the relevance of our organization. By the way, I want to say one thing. You may see this number, it looks very small. We are in a new world. And we have a new world guy, Munish Gupta also, though he's an old guy, but a new world guy, that these days you have, this is like a showcase, but through online you can have 1,000 people watching in 20 countries. And as years go by, we would not worry about that why we have only 50 members or 100 members here, because we know presently there may be watching 500 people. But if once it's packaged with Munish Ji, a very veteran in this world, is packaged, this can be watched again and again and again. So I want to say that don't feel small, that there's a small number, because the world has changed. And the new world is that this is just the beachhead kind of a thing. And then there's a bigger attendees behind that. So we want to become, this is our goal. And Vidya Ji, you can help us. How do we become the go-to organization for the tier 2, tier 3 organizations of or run by of Indian origin for doing business with India? So that is one. And I have been so much talking about India because the theme is Viksit Bharat. But our job is no less taking a tier 2, tier 3 organization in India, and they are desirous of going abroad. And PIOCCI works as a hub and a spoke kind of a model. India is the hub for us. ये बरगद का वृक्ष का root है. But we are truly, in fact, the logo, we should have the banyan tree as our logo, because our branches become the root. So the Indian diaspora has proven wherever we have gone, we have become a root. We are unlike the other diaspora of the history. I was also doing some research that what has been the role of diaspora in the historical sense. You saw the British came, before that the Mughals and all that came. They were different kind of ruthless diaspora. We are a diaspora who go to that country, do good for ourselves, do good for that country, and we want to do good for India. So we will be helping Indian companies go to the world. So bring world to the India, bring India to the world. And the third world is in a meshed network. Those guys, because we have local chapters in different countries, how one of our members in a country, particular if Amit says from Australia, Aditya Jha, we want to do something in Canada, our local chapter guy should help him connect whatever there. So we have this 3-layered focus, but primarily, and for today's purpose, I'm taking more than 5 minutes, so, but you did it to me, so let me do this to you. And one thing I have not highlighted, PIOCCI is going to become an international platform for internetworking of people of Indian origin. And that is going to be a phenomenal thing for us. You would see us doing similar events in different parts of the world. And I still have a few pages. Only one page. Okay? So, in summary, there is a paradigm shift even in the foreign investment. People think of FDI, they never think of a small company. So, we are going to just harp on this thing, micro FDI. You have seen microfinancing, this and that. These small companies, $1 million to $5 million coming to India, this is a foreign direct investment, but at a micro layer, that. Remittance that grows exponentially, not gets consumed. It does not diminishes. That is a phenomenal aspect of the work we do. And PIOs, the way we see it, PIOCCI will act like a fourth pillar to the whole process of this making India Viksit Bharat. Government, politicians, bureaucracy, think tank, but the civil society part of that, we will be that fourth pillar. And we don't want the business diaspora to become an island, and we are going to be a globally local organizations. Thank you very much, Munishji.